Life is so funny because, like, one day you're living in a $10,000 a month apartment and, like, getting to do whatever you want and eating at Michelin star restaurants all the time and going on a vacation to the Aman Hotel in Sri Lanka and then extending the trip and going to Singapore and staying at the Ritz-Carlton. And you're with this man who you think you're going to marry, and he's made you financially dependent on him over the course of the relationship. And then you get into a fight one night. It's January, so when I get back to New York, I will have technically nowhere permanent to live.
Okay, she is lying. Let me be clear, you are not a victim. He did not make you financially dependent upon him. That is false, and like all lies, it falls apart under scrutiny. Here's what actually happened. You met a man who had something that you wanted. Masculinity expressed through wealth, holidays, luxury. He met you and you had something that he wanted. Femininity, expressed through companionship, support, and sex. Your relationship was built upon this implied exchange. But the deal was broken. You got into a fight with him, and men don't like women who fight them. Men like women who are kind and calm, who resolve disagreements or misunderstandings respectfully and with rationality. But you got into a fight, and at that stage, you broke the terms of the deal. You were no longer providing the femininity that he wanted, and so he ended the relationship. He matched the withdrawing of your feminine contribution by withdrawing his masculine contribution. No more Michelin restaurants, no more $10,000 a month apartment, no more overseas holidays. The relationship has ended. He is no longer receiving any benefits from you, so naturally, you no longer get anything from him. At no point in the relationship did he ever make you financially dependent upon him, any more than you made him emotionally dependent upon you. Both of you, of your own free will, without coercion, chose to be voluntarily reliant upon each other as a mutual exchange in the relationship. If you wanted to be financially independent, you can always work and earn your own money. You made the decision to not do that. Don't blame him. That was your choice. Take accountability. Or if you did not want to work, you should have been more diligent in making sure that you kept providing value to him. If he is funding a luxury lifestyle for you, then he probably expects in return gratitude, sexual generosity, and certainly no fights. Your role is to make his life easier and more enjoyable, not more difficult. If you wanted continued access to his money, then you should have done a better job at providing him with what he wanted. The belief that you have that because he funded your lifestyle, that means that he made you financially dependent upon him is false, because it treats you as though you had no agency in this arrangement, and that is a lie. I mean, it's fascinating. After everything that she received from this man, she feels like she has been victimized, abused even. He made me financially dependent. How do women reach these conclusions? Specifically, how do they justify their sense of emotional victimhood? What you have to understand is that you cannot support this level of cognitive dissonance without it resting on a foundation of many layers of other nonsensical beliefs. Here they are now. These are beliefs that she holds that support her sense of grievance. And just like her conclusion, every single one of these is a lie. We're going to explore them now because they provide a fascinating insight into the mind of a modern woman and what they actually believe. But first, while it's important that any conclusion that you reach is supported by facts and logic, it's equally important that your pants are supported by a stylish belt, one with a customized appearance that enhances your unique outfit. Luckily, the sponsor of today's video, Anson Belt & Buckle, does exactly that. And they do this with a new technology that completely revolutionizes how belts work. Most belts use the stretched out hole method, and they never fit perfectly. It's either too tight or too loose. Anson belts are different. They use a micro-adjustable track system. It works on 1/4 inch sizing, which ensures the perfect fit. You can feel it as it clicks into place every single time. And when I say perfect fit, I mean perfect. They're so comfortable. I've been using mine for months now, and I'll never go back to old belts. What's also amazing is that their buckles and straps are interchangeable, so you can mix and match them to customize your outfits. These guys have been family owned since 2009. They have over 40,000 5-star reviews, and every belt comes with a lifetime functionality guarantee. And because Anson Belt & Buckle are sponsoring this video, when you click the link below or scan this QR code and build your box set, they'll throw in 2 bonus pieces, an extra buckle and extra strap for for free. That's 9 belt combinations in one box. It's available exclusively through this link. So click the link, build your set, and upgrade your belt game today. Okay, back to the video and the lies that she tells herself to justify her emotions of victimhood. Let's tackle this one at a time. So first, the belief that men are responsible for her expectations. She thought that he was going to marry her. Why? That feeling clearly was not mutual. He broke it off with ease. You're causing fights. Okay, so now we're done. Like, he clearly wasn't very invested. Lots of wealthy men date young, attractive girls. They let them share their lifestyle, but there's no thought to a deeper commitment. Clearly, that's what this was. So why did she think that she was going to be any different? Where did this expectation come from? The answer is from her feelings, not from the facts. He felt to her like a husband because of the way that he treated her, the way he provided for her. She thought, oh, this feels just like how I want my husband to treat me. But now he is blamed for the delusional fantasy that she indulged? That makes no sense. Emotional projection is not a binding contract. As an adult, you are responsible for making sure that your expectations are grounded in reality. You can't blame the other person because you chose to not control your own imagination. Women can clearly see this when the genders are reversed. If a man said, "But I expected to get 2 blowjobs a day for the rest of my life," the woman would laugh at him and say, "I'm not responsible for your expectations." But for some reason, when it comes to their own female expectations, they suddenly have a blind spot and they struggle to take accountability. The luxury that he shared with her did not imply any ongoing commitment. Her expectations are her own fault. But in fact, it's because she didn't actually do anything special to deserve this royal treatment that leads to the second belief. I earned this just by being me. She thinks he's treating me like a queen, so I must be one. Do you see what's happening inside her mind? The way that she engages in backwards rationalization? She receives all of his generosity and she interprets that as proof that she is inherently worthy of lifelong support. And this is without any thought as to what she is contributing to him and his life. You see, from an early age, women are taught that their value lies in simply being desirable. Just be, just exist, and men will want you and the world will take care of you. You see what happens when a man does take care of her and give her access to his wealth and his lifestyle. She doesn't see that as generosity or even temporary affection. And she certainly doesn't see it as something that she needs to earn. She sees it as proof, confirmation of that treasured belief that she's always carried. Yes, I am a woman. I am special. She is inherently valuable, and everything that she is receiving from him, that is what she has always deserved just for being her. I mean, this mindset it's incredibly narcissistic because she never stops to consider what the man might want or what his needs are. She drains his resources to fund this fantasy that she is this once-in-a-lifetime woman. Very few women actually have any awareness how basic they are. It's only a small percentage of women who are genuinely unique or special in some way. And so, of course, the fantasy does not last. At some point, he wakes up and he realizes, hey, she's not really contributing anything. But you know, she had a good run. She got to enjoy it for a little while. You'd think that she'd be grateful. And yet when he stops bankrolling her delusion and reality asserts itself, she has the audacity to flip the script and accuse him of using her, which is our next belief. Once the relationship ends, she retroactively reframes the entire relationship as exploitation. Her body, her time, her presence, they were taken from her. She is a victim and he's a predator. Of course, there's no thought that his time, his energy, his wealth, his resources were taken from him by her. No, the things that he contributed, he offered freely. But what she provided, that was stolen from her. It's an appealing story because it simultaneously paints her as a victim and him as an exploitative monster. That's very useful. That story's good because it helps her avoid accountability and externalize blame. But it's not reality. Let's not infantilize women. Both people agreed to this arrangement. I guess you could say that both people used each other, but it really wasn't different in essence to any relationship that's built upon a mutual exchange. But the reason that she does not acknowledge this truth is because admitting that the deal was mutual, that they were actually trading with each other, that would mean that she has to confront the shame about the fact that she didn't live up to her side of the deal, her embarrassment about not contributing enough or being desirable enough. But if she can claim that she has been used and exploited, then she doesn't need to admit any of that. She can comfort herself with a feeling of victimhood and moral superiority. And that righteousness is what fuels the entitlement of the next belief. Men owe me continued support. She was living in a $10,000 a month apartment in New York. But what now, just because he's decided he doesn't want to be in a relationship with her anymore, suddenly she can't keep living there? He provided for me once. He must continue doing so. Now, that might seem nonsensical to you, but it actually makes sense when you remember that she never saw the benefits that she received from him as something that she needed to earn. They were just what she deserved because she was so special. So, of course, she can't comprehend why his wealth is no longer available to her. After all, she's still special. So naturally, she still feels entitled to his money into the future. We dated once, you provided for me once, so of course, every month you should pay my rent. Imagine if he turned up at her door every single month and said, we dated once, you slept with me then, of course you should continue to meet my ongoing sexual needs. It doesn't matter that we're no longer in a relationship, you have an obligation to me, right? Like, it sounds ridiculous when coming from a man, but the culture has a blind spot when we see the exact same thing from a woman. And it's that hypocrisy which leads us to our final belief. Men's provision should not be transactional. And here we see the double standards, the raw, putrid sexism on full display, clear, all out in the open for everyone to see. The common belief held by so many modern women that a man should provide just because he's a man. But if he expects something in return from a woman, then he's being manipulative or even abusive. Women are well practiced at dressing this up nicely, making it sound like something noble. A real man provides, he does his duty. It's sneaky because it appeals to men's inherent sense of honor. Men feel obliged to live up to those expectations, to be that traditional man, to provide for a woman. And I actually don't have a problem with that, except that it's one-sided. Because while the culture sees that it is honorable for a man to do his traditional duty for a woman, and it's empowering for women to demand that from men, if a man asks a woman to perform her traditional duties, to cook, to clean, to look pretty, now he's sexist. Now he's controlling. He's an abuser. Well, that's convenient, isn't it? And there you have it. Now you can see all the beliefs that exist inside the female mind that enable her to claim that he made her financially dependent upon him. It's not pretty, is it? Because there's no consistent principle of justice or logic here. It's just sexism. Always is. The belief that women deserve special treatment just because they are women and men are obliged to give that to them. It's indefensible. And it's got to end. Now, as you can probably tell from this video, I'm a fan of transactional relationships, not in terms of like escorts, but just in terms of both men and women being consciously aware that when they're entering into a relationship, it's done with the expectation that they both provide something of value to the other. And it's good to be aware of what that is because it makes sure that both parties are actually conscious of the arrangement and getting a good deal. In broad terms, what you'd say is that men trade their masculinity and women trade their femininity. But you might ask the question, where does this leave love? Where does this leave romance? Does unconditional love have any place here? Isn't it cold and unfeeling to view things through this transactional lens? People don't want to sign up to relationships like it's a business contract. They want to feel their hearts on fire with like passion and romance. This can be reconciled. I have a very good answer to this, and I'm going to demonstrate that you can have both. That's what I'm going to spend the rest of the video talking about. If you'd like to keep watching, then please come and join me on Patreon. That's where I post the full-length versions of my videos and I go into a lot more depth. I have a huge back catalog. You'll see the extended versions of all of my videos, and it's a great way to support me and my work. So if my work has helped you in some way, you'd like to express gratitude, please come see me on Patreon.